The air was musty and humid as a group of well-muscled men and women sat in an old Soviet underground bunker in Donetsk. During the Cold War, this hideaway had been used as a command center to help coordinate the air defense of the motherland. Now it served as a secretive meeting room for the various leaders and rebel commanders of the Russian separatist movement. Alexander Zaharchenko, the self-appointed Prime Minister of Donetsk People's Republic, pulled his lighter out of his cargo pocket and proceeded to ignite another cigarette. He took a long pull, letting the smoke fill his lungs as his body absorbed the nicotine. As he slowly let the smoke out through his nostrils, he turned to Anton Antufeyev. "If what Strekov says is true, then we have a serious problem." Anton took a puff from his own cigarette and nodded. "We need to mobilize our militias and get ready to meet the government forces when they start to move into the cities and surrounding villages." Alexander continued smoking as he replied, "We backed down in Kharkov, and they killed Alexander Prosolov. They believed that they succeeded in crushing our movement in Kharkov, but they did not. Now the government thinks they can replicate the success that we gave them there and throughout our area of control. What they fail to realize is that we allowed them a victory in Kharkov. We chose not to use our soldiers in retaliation for killing Prosolov. We won't make that same choice here." Strelkov leaned forward and looked Alexander in the eyes. "This will be different, Alex. They are not sending a small contingent of soldiers to help augment the police like they did in Kharkov. They are sending a much larger military force with the intent of engaging our soldiers and forcing us to either surrender or flee across the border." Pavel interrupted to add, "We must mobilize our militias and tell the Russians to be ready to help us." Strelkov cut Pavel off before he could say anything else. "Pavel, sit down and speak when spoken to. I am not done yet," he grunted, annoyed at being interrupted before he could speak his piece. He had valuable information, and these guys were not letting him have a chance to spit it out. Pavel looked startled, but he sat down obediently. Strelkov continued, "Look, my contact in the Ukrainian military said the Americans have spent the last 4 months getting them ready to come root us out. They have provided them with stingers, vehicles, anti-tank missiles, and other heavy weapons. They are also going to offer them several hundred military advisors and surveillance drone support. The advisors are almost exclusively American Special Forces and infantry soldiers. They mean business, and these are soldiers who know what they are doing." He wanted to make sure they fully understood that these weren't going to be the same ragtag government soldiers they had been fighting against up to this point. This was going to be a newly trained and well-equipped military force, advised by American combat veterans. Those around him nodded resolutely. They were preparing themselves for a true battle.